Good morning.
Good morning. How the heck are you?
You know, I'm good. I love that we start our Fridays with a little dance intro. It's always fun to have a dance break.
I love it. I can't wait until we're in real life and that we have an intro of us going down the street to that song, like a whole dance montage.
I feel like this is going to be like that SNL skit where we're going to do like that, and it's going to turn into a real on-site thing. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to Binge Live. It's Friday. Yay.
Yay, yay, yay. Happy Friday.
So how's your week going?
It's been good. It's been good. We're still up for those 2 contests. If people want to still vote for us on SheTV for the small business grant for FedEx. And also our song competition for the International Song Competition of The Madams, which is another great song from our web series, The Madams.
I've been rocking out to that song quite a bit. It's so good. It's so good. Like,
have you followed her on Spotify and everything? Because she has a lot of awesome music.
I haven't spiraled down that rabbit hole yet, but give me time. It will happen. I've been on like a cheesy pop fest lately, so which really nothing new about that, but that's another thing. So do you know how the votings are going? Like how you're ranking?
We don't have any, it's kind of like blind voting. So we're just going hard every day, making sure we get everyone to vote and, you know, hope for the best because there's no real way to see where we're ranked or anything like that.
Okay, so really quick. So Natalie, who everybody remembers from last week, is our puppet master behind the scenes. We'll be posting the links in the chat, but remind people what they're voting for. Like yeah.
So the first one is the FedEx Small Business Grant, and voting is obviously a main portion of how they're judging. We had to do an entry with a few answers, like short answers describing our business and what we do, and the top prize for that is $50,000. So that's a huge huge one. And then the other is for the International Songwriting Competition, and that's for the song The Madams.
Fantastic. Well, I'm hoping that everything's going good. I know I've been voting. I've been trying to vote every day because I know you can vote once a day. I think I've done it at least 4 or 5 times for each one. When does the voting end?
How much voting ends 24th.
Okay, so we got about a week. Is that it? Yeah, 5 days. All right, everybody, click those links, bookmark them, and just go back to them every day. Share them on Facebook. Let's get them some money. And they said that they'll split it with us. I'm joking. They didn't say that, but you know.
We appreciate your support.
Yes, please. That's what we do. That's what this is all about. We're supporting local business. That's the whole purpose of Binge Networking and now Binge Live. That's our goal. We want to build everybody up and do a really great job supporting everybody, you know. So fingers crossed it all comes together.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
So today we have an awesome guest. I know it's one of everybody who's a member of the chamber, loves her to death. Everybody gets excited when she shows up for all the events, whether it's in person or online. So go ahead and do the intros, Meredith.
All right, Stephanie, come on out, Director of Communications for LAX.
Hi. So, good morning. Before we start, we're going to give a shout out to your mom because we know she's watching.
Hi, Mom.
So thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So excited you're on here. So tell us about you. So now this is a recent promotion, correct?
Yes. I just am now in charge of all of LAX Development Projects and communicating about them. So it's about $14 billion worth of projects. Prior to this, I was overseeing communications for our landside access modernization program, which was just $5.5 billion worth of projects. And that's our people mover system, which you can see behind me, rental car facility, new parking structure. So now I'm just kind of overseeing all of our outreach to stakeholders in the community and making sure that we can highlight all the progress at the airport.
That's incredible. So 14 billion. I mean, you know, in all honesty, when you think about revamping, which is pretty much what you're doing, you're redoing the whole airport. That doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, it is, but that's such a weird statement to make. But when you consider the amount of work that's going into it, like that doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and the People Mover project is the largest public works project in the city's history.
Seriously.
So it's a significant investment in what we're doing here, and everything we're doing is to create a world-class airport and make people proud of our little airport LAX. I love our airport, but we're making sure that all of our facilities are upgraded. We have great amenities, shops, restaurants. So when everyone does return to fly the friendly skies and back to travel, you know, it's going to be a great facility.
Yeah. Tell us, what are some of the like key components or things you're really excited to see that are being incorporated and all of that?
I mean, for us, it'll be a connection to public transportation. So Metro, LAX is a major airport not connected to public transportation. So we'll eventually connect to the Crenshaw LAX line. So that's really exciting. Providing an option to avoid driving into the central terminal area with new pickup and drop off locations will be great. We know during peak travel time pre-COVID, it could take 45 minutes to an hour to circle around our horseshoe area. And with this new system, you can arrive 10 minutes or less on the train. All of the rental car shuttles will be removed from the streets in the terminal area because everything will be consolidated in a new facility right next to the 405 connected to our people mover. So it will be really great to see once it's done.
When will it be done?
So our new parking structure will open later this summer. We will be unveiling our new train name and car branding this summer as well. And then the rental car facility and the people mover will open in 2023.
So what's is it going to be like Trainee McTrain? Is that what you're going to
No, it will not be like that. We did not allow the public to have a say in naming the train car, but we are very excited about it, and the design of the train is going to be very cool, and so we can't wait to unveil it later this summer.
I was going to say, do you get to be involved in the naming? Do you get to put the best of out there for everyone else to vote for?
No, but there was definitely a committee involved, and we had our mayor's office heavily involved, of course, because it's one of his major infrastructure projects as well. So we made sure that he has a big say in it, and we're very excited about it.
Now, what's going on with I mean, there's that iconic architecture right there in the middle of everything, which has been not always in the best shape for a long time. Is that being restored, or like what's the plans for that?
So that's our theme building, which was built during the beginning of the jet age, which is celebrating its 60th year, June 25th. So kind of tying into everything we're doing, throwing it back to the old jet age and now the future of jet age. So that building right now, you just can't really access it because it's in a construction zone. We have the Bob Hope USO on the ground floor, which is still operating even during COVID. And then eventually, once the people movers open, we will have obviously better access to it. And then we hope to somehow reimagine what we can do there. But our East Station will actually have a balcony, kind of an overlook that you can go have a selfie with the theme building behind you. It's a viewing platform, so we're excited for that to open up when the train's ready.
It's all about the selfies. I mean, you just got to have a place for selfies. That's just the world we live in. I mean, that's going to be really cool because that's such an iconic piece of it. So I can't wait to see what becomes of it, because it was a restaurant. I mean, it's been kind of everything.
Yeah. Right now it's empty on the upper level floors. And the really cool thing about the train guideway, it goes right around the theme building. You can kind of see it behind me. So it's going to give a really good aerial view that you probably wouldn't get before, and just a new look to it. And it's just a very cool pathway. And I had the opportunity to go up on the construction of the guideway and walk around what will be that future view. And I gotta say, like, it's gonna be great.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so exciting. The airport will be not dreading going to anymore. We'll be more excited to go and visit.
Everyone will want to come.
It's going to be the new hang. That's just where you're going to go hang out now.
We can all hang out. What about, how have you seen, at least now, obviously travel has been slower and different, but what do you think travel is going to look like? What do we need to know? Anything that we should be prepared for?
Yeah, well, obviously, we're starting to see some upticks in travel, especially this month. We're now past a year into this, and people are starting to get vaccinated. And we have seen in the month of March 4 of our busiest days since last March. And so we are seeing people becoming more comfortable. People are starting to go where things are opening up. So we're excited to see that return. We know as we go towards the summer, we're going to have airlines adding more routes and more flights. And so we really do expect summer to really kick off and really show that growth there. Masks are federally mandated. So you must wear a mask when you come to the airport. And now that it's a federal mandate, our partners at TSA and our police officers, they can ticket you if you're not wearing a mask. You can be kicked off a flight if you're not wearing a mask. So it's very important that you wear one. We have travel ambassadors who can hand it out if anyone needs it. We also have PPE machines where you can go to a vending machine and purchase sanitizer, UV lights, face masks. So we have all of the things you would need to make sure you're traveling safely. And really, it's about personal responsibility too. So you come to the airport, avoid the crowds, keep your space. At the baggage claim, don't all crowd because it's going to take a while to get the bag off. So just kind of hang back and know your space and just
You know, whenever I fly, I always get to the baggage claim. I get there and I see everybody's waiting by that spot where it comes out, and I'm like, I'm going to go on the other side because, first of all, if you want my bag, there's nothing in there but dirty clothes. I just got back, so more power to you. But I just like, I just let me have some space. Like, I never understood like why people can't wait like an extra minute for it to just come down and go around a bell. It's funny to me.
Yeah, that's all it is. I got to be the first to get my bag and go.
Yeah, it's so random. It's so random.
Too, it's like the most fascinating thing is human behavior at airports. I feel like is from like a sociological standpoint. There's so many things that we do, especially now. I'm super curious to see how like our behavior changes, post pandemic, like what that's gonna look like. So
yeah, it's interesting because we have signage everywhere. We have floor markings to try and keep the space. We have touchless technology, so you don't need to touch anything. Your paperwork with TSA, you can scan your ID now, so you don't even need to hand over paperwork. You can order your food on our LAX Order Now app and go pick it up completely contactless. So we've leaned into that touchless technology, and as an airport, innovation is something we pride ourselves on. We were already doing that pre-pandemic, but now we've really pushed that forward and found ways to create this touchless journey that makes people more comfortable when they're at the airport.
That's incredible. So now the Olympics are coming. Those were in 2024. So you guys are going to be done.
2028.
2020. Okay. You're like, no, don't say that.
No. Paris 2024.
Okay. But so we'll be done by then. Everything will be in perfect. Which part of this whole revamping are you excited about? Like, what's the one where you sit there and just like, this is just incredible?
I think the train system itself, because it's going to provide connection in the terminal area, outside the terminal area, connect to regional transportation. It's going to just be something that we don't have. It'll help with traffic congestion. Yeah. Because it's an elevated system, you're going to have some really cool views as you're heading in and out of the airport. We start construction over Century Boulevard in April or May of this year. Yeah. And you're going to see the construction of the guideway come together from the outside in. And it's just going to be fascinating to see it all take place. But once it's all done, it's going to be amazing. And if you haven't been at the airport recently, in the last year, the entire landscape has transformed. So worth a trip to drive through the terminal area, down 96, Aviation, La Cienega, check it out and see all of the changes.
That's going to be so cool. It's going to be so cool. Now, obviously, this is a chamber sponsored event. So you are a huge member with the chamber. I mean, it's so funny. Any event, Stephanie comes on and you just see everybody light up. It's awesome. It's kind of a little jealous, but we'll talk about that another time. So how is your involvement with the chamber? I mean, I know it's very personal because we've all become friends for it, but they're really supportive of what's going on with LAX. So tell us a little bit about that.
We are major partners with the chamber, not only because they're right in our backyard and we're in their backyard, but because we all want to do what's best for the community and we want to grow and we want to give opportunities. And so The airport has a seat on the board, and so I have been given the opportunity to fill that board seat, and I absolutely love it. I love the leadership. They really have done a great job. And Joel, we were on a call the other day. We were talking about just how great what they've been doing during the pandemic to keep people connected. They have really fun events, but they're also providing opportunities and helping people learn how to make it through, whether it's getting PPE loans or starting a small business. So they're really involved. In the airport, obviously, we have a lot going on, and we want to make sure that the chamber has a say or at least a support of what we're doing. And so we work very closely with them on a lot of the events as well.
Yeah, I remember I did a leadership academy, and one of the coolest days we got to do was the tour of LAX. I mean, that was just, I won't say everything that we got to see because I don't know if we can talk about it too much.
You can.
Okay. Well, we went to that one room where it was kind of like the control center for security. And that was like straight out of Mission Impossible. Like, I mean, it was really cool. It's like all these monitors are around and everybody's saying like, oh, this is kind of cool. But then like the guided tours around, we got to see the construction of the new terminals that were going in. I mean, it's so weird because you go to LAX, you travel a lot, but you don't realize the behind the scenes. You just don't think about it, I should say. So just all that stuff it's really impressive.
Yeah, I miss giving airfield tours. It was always fun, to ask quizzes on the trips and just share. I love working at the airport, and I never thought I'd be at an airport, let alone work in construction, because I worked in sports the majority of my career. But I absolutely love it, and to get people excited about our airport and what we're doing is key. So it's kind of been hard during the pandemic because I'm so used to meeting with people and groups, but we've transitioned to the online world, so we made it through.
Do you have any like fun facts from your tours that you would give people about the airport?
Yeah, do you know what kind of engine an A380 has?
Ooh, I do not.
Powerful.
It is a Rolls-Royce engine.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Although most of them are now being retired and not flying anymore, but yeah, that was my favorite fun fact. It's a Rolls-Royce engine.
Wow, that is fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm like, give us another one. What else do you got?
How many terminals does LAX have?
A lot.
8?
Nope.
Is it
12?
9 or 10?
9.
Nice.
Tom Bradley is never thought of because it's not numbered, but it is a terminal.
That's true. It's not numbered. That's sneaky.
Yep.
I love it. Like, it's a gotcha one. I got you on that one. So wait, so before you were doing this, you said you were working in sports.
I worked in sports information. I was at UCLA for over 8 years working with football primarily. So yeah, I was an athlete in college. I interned in different sport entities through college, and then got a job at UCLA and worked there for over 8 years.
How did you transition from there to?
Yeah, I got tired of working 7 days a week and holidays, and it was kind of monotonous after doing it for 10 years back to college time. So, there was a posting for a job with the city of LA, and then I learned there was this whole testing process that took about 11 months from application to interview. I had to take a multiple choice test at a high school with a handwritten essay, and then based on that score, you get invited to a structured panel, and then based on that, you get scored and ranked, and then wherever you rank, that's how you would get interview notices. And I got a job with community relations, and then a couple of years into that, I was on some promotional lists and had talked to my deputy, Trevor Daly, about opportunities to do more. And that day he's like, well, hey, by the way, we're going to move you to help our new communications team for the modernization projects. And I moved right over and started working right away in the new division. So
that's incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's quite a process.
Yeah. It was very different. It was, I especially working at the airport, okay, you get used to working at the airport, but then you throw in construction, that's a whole nother world.
Yes.
And so I kind of threw myself into it to try to make sure I knew what I was talking about.
Well, that's just wacky enough to make sense. Yeah. That's just wacky. But you post, I mean, obviously we're friends on Facebook, but I see you share so many cool photos and videos. I mean, I think there was one you posted that it was like kind of going along the
Time lapse, yeah.
That was just so cool to see. I mean, it's really, I love looking at those because you're watching this whole, it really is like you're building a mini city. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. When we were early in the pandemic, I wanted to find a way to share with our stakeholders and anyone not at the airport to show that we were continuing to build. We were moving on through this horrible time for everybody, but finding light and efficiencies to continue that construction. And so I just try to figure out, as me being kind of a newbie to construction, what would I find interesting? And so I would time lapse an escalator being installed into our parking structure. I thought that was fascinating, and people liked it too. So I kept doing stuff like that. So I'm always trying to figure out what cool thing can we do. And so stay tuned today because I'm going up on the guideway again. So we'll see what I come up with today.
Now, does your mom tell you what to post as well?
No, but I gave my mom and dad a tour a couple of weeks ago. I drove them around to show them because they hadn't been here since December of 2019 either. And I showed them the scaffolding that I walk up to go on top of the construction. They're like, maybe you shouldn't have showed us that because it's a little high.
Nervous. We don't, this makes us super nervous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little nerve wracking when you're on it, but I was like, I climbed that. Yep, that's where I go.
Your mom's just sitting there going, I don't want to know these things.
No.
Don't tell me these things.
Exactly.
That's actually, I mean, my dad's in construction, so I grew up around all this as well. And it's, you know, he's retired now, whatever, but it's really kind of, it's fascinating when you watch these pieces come together because you don't realize what it takes to get to that final result.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's from the workers that are involved. I mean, just from the people who are doing the drawings, people who think about it, and to see it come to life from a rendering, it's really spectacular to see.
And I like to show what it looks like now with the rendering of what it'll look like in the future. So you can really see that transformation taking place. And so that's one of my favorite things to do too.
That's so cool. Well, I think we're coming up on, I think all of our viewers' favorite time right now. I think so. So are you ready for your rapid fire? Are you ready?
Right. I'm ready.
Okay. Stephanie, drum roll, please.
That little drum roll.
Welcome to the rapid fire round of Binge Live. You'll have 3 seconds to answer the following questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. What is your hometown?
Yorba Linda, California.
Oh.
Love it. Shout out Natalie. Okay, what is the best advice you've ever been given?
There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Like it. What is your least favorite food?
Ooh, mushrooms or tomatoes? Oh no, cilantro. Take it back. Cilantro.
Tomatoes.
Okay, so you want that gene. Okay. Would you rather be able to speak every single language or have the ability to talk to animals?
Ooh, animals. I want to know what my cat's thinking.
I love that. What is your go-to show to binge?
Jeez, I don't know. I've binged so many. Anything really. I'm a sucker for any show.
Okay, tell us a fun fact about yourself.
I threw the hammer in college.
Cool. Okay. I say the color blue. You think?
Sky.
And what is your favorite karaoke song?
Ooh. Man, probably not appropriate for television. I don't know.
We'll ask you that offline.
Probably a rap song. If I could, football, but I can't play football.
You can do anything. Okay. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Driven, fun, and trustworthy.
I love it. And when you dance, you look like?
A white girl with rhythm.
I love it. Great job, Stephanie. Round of applause for Stephanie. Good job.
So you threw the hammer?
Yeah, hammer throw, shot put, discus in college. Yeah.
Cool. What was your distance? Not that I would know.
193.5 was my hammer. I broke a conference and school records back in the day.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Paid for college, paid for my 2 degrees, so that helped too.
So do you watch the Thor movies and go like, you don't know?
Well, during the Protectors Appreciation Week, which LAX Coastal goes and gives gift baskets, I went to our fire stations on the airfield and they asked me if I was an athlete. And so we guess which one, and they never did. And so I finally told them, and then one went and got a wiffle ball and was like, throw it. I'm like, it's a wiffle ball. But I did. I think Chad, our vice president of the chamber, has a video of it, but I threw it like a discus and a shot put. But yeah.
That is so interesting. How do you just like pick up, the hammer? How does that happen?
I played soccer for 11 years, and the track coach at Esperanza High School was like, hey, you should try the shot put and discus. And so I actually made varsity my freshman year, and then I was doing okay, and he thought I'd do well at hammer. So I went and trained at a junior college nearby. And that's how I got a scholarship, because of the hammer throw.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever think, we're going a little on here, but I don't care. Did you ever think about doing this for like the Olympics? Like,
I wasn't good enough. I was like, I had my limits. I did good enough, but I was not an Olympic caliber thrower.
But you threw 193 feet?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
American records like 230 or 240, I think. So yeah, it's not that good.
I'm really out of shape, dear Lord. Like, I mean, I would go like 6 inches and be like, yeah.
I've always wanted to try the
Javelin.
yes, I want, because I just feel like all of those are very like bad, cool looking.
It's all about the image. Love it.
Good sensor there.
Just had to catch myself. But that's really awesome. That's so fascinating. Good for you. I feel like that's impressive. Don't knock yourself. That's impressive.
Thank you.
That's absolutely awesome. So as we come up to the end, what's like a good takeaway that people should have regarding the projects at LAX, or just travel in general, or both actually?
Well, the projects we're continuing on to build. It's a completely different LAX, and in a few years it will be definitely world class, and one everyone will want to come to. And travel wise, if you don't need to travel, stay home, wait a little bit longer, make sure everyone's vaccinated. If you're traveling 120 miles outside the county, they're still asking you to quarantine. So keep that in mind if you are traveling, because we want to make sure that we can beat the pandemic, and then we can all return to regular travel.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice. And lastly, where do you want to travel when everything opens?
So I just booked a trip for hopefully leaving on Thanksgiving to go to southern Italy, so Naples and Sorrento, meeting up with a few friends I met on my last trip 2 years ago. So hopefully everything, in 8 months, I hope we're somewhat back to normal and can make my trip, but I have insurance just in case.
That's very exciting. Well,
That's
thank you so much. And is there any way that you want people to connect with you? How can we get in touch and support you?
Oh yeah, you can follow me on LinkedIn. I post everything about the airport there. That's a great way to do it. You can email me. It's just ssampson, SAMPSON @lawa.org. And if any of your organizations want to have an update, I am always happy to give one virtually and eventually in person.
That's so great. Well, this was fantastic. Like, this was a lot of fun. I'm super excited. Like, you do one heck of a good job selling this whole project. I mean, it's just, I'm actually really excited to see what this is going to evolve into. I mean, and thank you so much for spending your morning with us. This was awesome.
Of course. Thank you for having me. You guys are awesome. I love your show and happy to be a part of it.
Yay. And for all the viewers, yes, and for everybody who's out there, we are going to be taking next week off. So this will be our last show for a couple of weeks, but we'll be back. So just stay tuned. Thank you, Meredith. Thank you, Stephanie. This was awesome.
Thank
Have
you.
a great weekend, everybody.
Bye.